This is the tutorial on how to cut built up neckline. There was a mistake. At first I should have measured 2 inches upward before measuring this 5 inches, but anyways, so you mark your 5 inches at first, then later your basic body's measurements. I used my hip to get the measurements and I got 11.5. After connecting your 5 inches together, then you are going to measure your basic body's measurements, which I use my hip measurement, that's 5 inches, then 11.5 for my own basic body's measurement, which I use my hip measurement to get it. Sorry guys, I should have marked out my chest line, my waistline and my hip line, but I'm used to freehand, that's why. So I have marked out my 12.5. You see later get it. Then you go up with 2 inches upward. After your gown length, maybe your gown length is 44. Apart from that 44, you're going to mark out 2 inches, extra 2 inches upward, extra 2 inches upward. Then after your 2 inches, you're going to mark out your gown length. I mean, if you are working with 40 inches, then you are going to mark out maybe 42 because of inseam allowance. After that, I measure my shoulder. That's, I think I use 8.5 inches here. I think I'm using 8.5 inches. Then I'm going to mark out my armhole, which I use 8.5 inches. Like I said earlier, I'm used to freehand. So if you have your curve ruler, or I don't know, just connect it with your curve ruler. So after that, you put your tape rule from 2 inches upward. As you can see, from the line of the 2 inches, you come down with 15 inches. This is the half length of the client I'm working with. It can be 16, it can be 17, but I'm working with 15 inches. After that, we are going to mark out our leg line. Sorry guys, if it is pattern drafters, they will have rolled out the hip line, the waistline and the chest line, but you know, I'm used to freehand, so I forgot to roll out all this. I have connected my own waistline, my hip line, that's the waist, and that's the chest, and that's the hip. So I use my own measurement to get the hip line and the waistline. So we are going to the leg line. So you will use 3 inches inward of the 5 inches. Then for the up, you are going to use 1.5, or you can decide to use 2 inches, but I'm using 1.5 here. Then 3 inches. Then you connect both of it together, as you can see. After connecting the 3 inches and the 1.5, I want to slant my shoulder. All this, my own drafting is different from those pattern drafters, so I'm so sorry because I'm used to free. And so now we are going to mark out half inches or 1 inches inward of the 3 inches we connected earlier. I'm using 1 inches. Then you curve it. If you have your curve ruler, you can say so we use your curve ruler, but you know I'm using free hand, so I am using my own hand to curve it. So you're going to measure 1 inches inward, or half inches, I mean half of 1 inches. So from there, from the 15 inches earlier down to the leg line, from the half inches or 1 inches you use, you're going to connect it to the half length. You know, I use 15 inches earlier, so if you use 16 inches or 17 inches, you're going to connect it from your 16 inches down to the half inches or 1 inches you use. Moving on to the back measurement, this is the back bodies. At first, you are going to measure 2 inches upward, as we did for the front bodies. You are going to measure 2 inches upward. Then measure your shoulder, that's 2 inches upward. As you can see, that's the 2 inches I roll out. Then after marking out your 2 inches upward minus your normal gown length, That's my armhole. So you're going to connect your armhole down to the shoulder, then your 2 inches upward. Then after your 2 inches, you're going to measure your normal gown length. At this point, I've connected my waist, my hip line, I'm free-handed, so I don't measure the chest out. So for the neck, you're going to measure 3 inches, then 1 inches upward above the 2 inches earlier. So 3 inches, then you connect it with the 1.5 like we did for the front. 3 inches, then 1.5. This is for the back. As you can see, you're going to connect both of it together. Then round shape, as you can see, I rounded it up. If you have your round ruler or curve ruler, you can use your curve ruler to do that. Then 1 inches inward of the two, as you can see, then curve it again. I should have marked out the 1 inches there, but I'm used to that freehand. So then you slant your shoulder. 3 inches for the neck, then 1 inches above the 2 inches earlier. 3 inches for the neck and 1.5 inches for the neck. Then you curve the neck, as in for the collar. You are going to curve it round shape, as you can see. Then you're going to cut it out.